I'm Diego, and I'm a partnership marketing manager here at Jump and one of your main hosts during the webinar today. With me today are Nathan, who leads product onboarding and runs a lot of our trainings, as well as Ty, our product manager, and honestly, the person who knows all the ins and outs of our product more than anyone here at Jump. Hi, Ty and Nathan. How are you both doing today?
Doing good. Excited to talk about Redtail with you guys.
Yeah, doing great. Thank you. Thanks, Diego. Thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm excited about what we're covering today. The embedded integration between Jump and Redtail is something that I think is really going to change the way a lot of um, your work day to day is right now with Redtail and with Jump. The idea that your meeting workflow, prep, notes, follow-ups all lives inside Redtail without ever switching tabs is a really big deal. And between the three of us, we're going to cover a lot of ground and excited to go straight into it. A few things before we begin, just for housekeeping. Please drop in questions into the Q&A panel anytime. We have product specialists here today with us as well. We're happy to join in and answer questions through the chat. We also have a replay link that's going to be available after the call, so you can share that with your team as well. And if you want a one-to-one demo or you have specific questions, we're happy to set time aside following this webinar to go deep with anyone and everyone that wants to get specific view into this integration that we have. And as to the agenda today, what we'll be covering is Nathan is going to take us through a deep dive on everything you can do with Jump inside Redtail today. And that deep dive is all around our embedded integration right now. Next, Ty is going to show you what we just got with updates and what's new with a new embedded integration. Then we'll continue on with Q&A, and then we'll close off with next steps as well. Nathan, over to you.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. I'm Nathan, one of the product enablement managers here at Jump. If you've ever been to one of our one-on-one trainings, you might have seen me. I tend to lead a lot of the onboardings and just ongoing trainings here at Jump. So I just wanted to reiterate a couple of things that Diego said. Number one, we have about 500 people listening in today, and we found one of the biggest values of these webinars is hearing your questions and then letting other people see your questions and letting us answer them in front of everyone. So please feel free to ask us questions. There is a chat feature, but we would encourage you to use the Q&A feature instead. That way we can share your questions with everyone else if we feel like it would be a good one to share. So please feel free to use that Q&A section if you can. Okay. Now, I am going to be giving you a deep dive of the Jump Redtail integration today. We're going to spend the first few minutes just talking about what you can do now in Jump with Redtail, and then Ty is going to take over the actual embedded Jump integration in Redtail. Okay, so you might know a lot of the things that I cover with you, so I do apologize. I just wanted to take this opportunity to show you all of the sweet stuff that's included with the Redtail integration before we talk about the Jump embedded in Redtail integration. Okay. Alrighty. Now, first things first, just a quick recap. As many of you know, Jump can generate a pre-meeting prep note. For those of you that don't know where that pre-meeting prep gets generated, you can find it in your meetings upcoming tab. Just go into one of your upcoming meetings, and if it's typically 24 hours is when that trigger is set to hit. That's when we generate your pre-meeting prep. So for your upcoming meetings, we'll put together this note. And the reason I'm calling this out is because one of the sources that we can pull from is Redtail. Now, recently we announced we can start pulling from more than just your CRM. So we can pull from your email, we can pull from your financial planning tools, and a lot of the other sources that you have connected with Jump. But for the purpose of this webinar, I'm going to emphasize that we can pull from Redtail to generate your pre-meeting prep note. The other reason I wanted to call out this pre-meeting prep is because we recently changed it so it's much more customizable. Now we can tell it to look at specific objects in Redtail or whatever other sources you want the pre-meeting prep to search through. Also, you may already know this, but we do embed pre-meeting prep sources. So if you want to know where it pulled from, did it pull it from Redtail? Did it pull it from my email inbox? Did it pull it from Jump? Just click on that little source, whether it's Redtail or whatever the source it was, and you can click on this little window here, and this will take you into that system where we pulled that information from, included that in the pre-meeting prep. Okay. Also, with the Redtail integration, we're syncing over your contacts, so your clients and your households. So if you want to go view a pre-meeting prep for a specific contact, but you don't necessarily have someone on your calendar scheduled, you can just go to this contacts tab. You can search for that client. Go ahead and search for one of these clients and then click into their name and then go over to the pre-meeting prep tab here and have Jump generate a pre-meeting prep note on demand. Okay. So again, you probably already knew a lot of this. The pre-meeting prep is one of our core features that everyone gets with Jump Meet, but I wanted to cover that. I also wanted to cover with you many of the options that you have with syncing tasks over from Jump into Redtail. So when you go to a meeting page and you are looking at your list of follow-up tasks that Jump has generated, you might recognize this look here. You click on Sync to Redtail and it pulls up all of your tasks. There are actually quite a few options on this page that you can select. First things first, this is actually an update. We did make an update recently where you can now choose multiple assignees. So if you need to assign a task to more than one person, just click on their name here and then start selecting who this task needs to be assigned to. Also, a quick tip for you, make sure that when you're selecting someone from the assigned to field, you are choosing somebody with a red tail symbol. If you choose someone with a jump symbol, it's not actually going to assign it to them when this task lands in Redtail. Okay. The other thing that you can do here with your tasks is you can sync tasks over to workflows instead of just syncing it over as a regular activity task. And to do that, you go to the type column that you're going to get here on this page, and then you'll change it from activity to workflow. That flings the workflow down below workflows to sync, and then you can use the template field here to choose which workflow do you want this task to sync to and trigger that workflow. Okay. The other option you have are templates. So if you have activity templates in Redtail, and maybe there's some things in that activity template you want to use, but you also want to combine that with some things that Jump suggested in these tasks, use this template column, click on select, and then choose which template you want to reference. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do client review meeting. And then what this does is it pulls up on the left, it shows, hey, here's what Jump gave you, right, in each of the fields. And then on the right is your actual template. Okay, so maybe there's some things in this template you want to keep, like you really like the description, but you do like the title that Jump gave. So we can go ahead and go over to that little arrow button and click override with Jump values, and boom, it'll push that over. Then when you're done, you click save and close. And then when you sync all of these tasks over, those changes will be applied to that task. Okay. One last thing, and this is kind of like a pro tip. A lot of times when people sync tasks over from Jump into Redtail, they have a hard time finding the task, and it's because the task is assigned at like a specific time. And so what I've heard advisors do is they'll say, well, we'll just mark it as all day. So you can mark a task as all day in Jump automatically before it even goes over into Redtail. And that is a column that shows up here. What you can do is you can go in to your setup and say, hey, always make all day yes. And then you can go in and change it too. So maybe you don't want this task to be all day. You can always uncheck that. Okay. Usually this is something that you need to add. So if you guys aren't getting that all day option, I'm going to show you really quick how to add that option. Okay. To do that, you are going to go to your profile and settings. You're going to go over to user settings, and then you're going to go over to automations. By the way, if you're a light user, you'll notice your automations tab is blank. That's because light users don't get automations. So this is something you may just want to pass along to a full user. Again, that's the advisor, typically someone that meets with clients. Okay. Now here on this page, this is kind of the engine under the hood of Jump. This is what powers a lot of what Jump does. You're going to scroll down until you find the list that says do this. And then you're looking for the automation. It's typically called generate follow-up tasks. Okay, go ahead and click on generate follow-up tasks and then scroll down and you're going to add a field. Okay. And then the type is going to be activity. The name, which is the name of the field, it's going to be all day. And then we're going to change this from AI generated using template to static. And then we'll go ahead and type in the value as on. That's just us telling the AI, hey, make sure that this field is flipped to yes. Okay. And now future meetings, you'll get that all day field show up and it'll automatically have that checked to yes, but you can always check it to no if you want to before you sync the tasks over. Okay. Now, another reason I wanted to bring you to this user settings automations page is because this is where a lot of things dictate like what happens. So for example, you may have noticed after a meeting, Jump selects one of these meeting types. Okay. When someone comes to us and says, hey, I want Jump to type a note based on this format, we actually go to this page and create their note template for them. We call it customization. Okay. Now, let me preface this by saying you don't have to customize yourself if you have like a really like deep like a really intense request. Feel free to use our customization team. We have a customization form you can fill out, and we'll go in and make these changes to your account for you. But the reason I wanted to call out this page is because if you guys scroll down here and you find your add note to contact automation, this is what creates the note and makes it so you can sync it over to Redtail. This automation we can change so that you can sync your notes to different areas in Redtail. For example, sometimes people come to me and they say, hey, Nathan, we don't want to sync our note over just as a regular note. We want to sync it over as an activity. So what I would do is I would go to this page and I would change their record type so that instead of it being a note, we would change it to activity. Okay. So this is where we can change these options. All right. Again, we don't necessarily expect you to understand this. We usually help people with the actual changing of these fields. So don't feel burdened if you feel like, man, this is a lot to learn. We're happy to help you with this. Another thing to call out here is this automation is also where you can change the template that Jump uses. This is actually very new. We recently launched a couple of new templates. So for example, you may say, hey, I want my notes to be in first person. Well, you go here to this automation and then you change this from client meeting note detailed or standard to client meeting note first person. And then your future notes will be written in the first person instead of the standard third person, which is typically what it's written in. Okay. The big thing I wanted to highlight here is the CRM mapping. So if your notes are going somewhere in Redtail and you don't like where they're ending up, we can change that for you. You'll notice there's a lot of options here. One of the common things I get requests for is, you know what, we just want to update an activity in Redtail, so an existing one. So we could change that as well from add new CRM record to update existing record, and we'll say, hey, we want to update an activity. Okay. So that's definitely something to think about with your team is, hey guys, are we satisfied with their notes, where the notes are landing in Redtail, and is that something that we would like to change? If that's something that you're interested in, definitely reach out to us. Just so you guys know, we recently changed where our support bubble is located. You can now access it by going to the help button in the bottom left corner and then clicking on chat with support, and then let us know how we can assist you. Okay. Now, one more thing I wanted to call out before I toss it over to Ty and we talk about that Jump embedded integration in Redtail is I did want to call out that with the new Jump Operate feature that we came out with recently, which enables you to upload documents into Jump, It also enables you to send AI intake forms to clients before meetings and get a lot of that, manual data that you typically have to enter yourself. Well, these forms can be mapped to your CRM. So the nice thing is you can send these forms to clients, they fill it out, and then when you get that information and you're looking at that in Jump, you can sync that to fields in Redtail. So that's another thing we can help you with, not only mapping your notes, but also mapping the info that people fill out in these AI intake forms. Also, with Jump Operate comes the ability to upload documents, and whenever clients are filling out these AI intake forms, they can also upload documents themselves. So whether clients uploaded it to the form or you uploaded it yourself into the actual Jump portal, you can take these documents and sync info that you get from those documents into your CRM as well. So a lot of options that you get with just from integrating with Redtail. Those are just a few that I wanted to cover with you. Again, feel free to let us know if you guys have any questions. But we're really excited about where this integration is going. Ty is now going to talk more about that embedded integration. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Nathan. That was super helpful. I feel like that going through in depth of how Jump can interact with Redtail is so beneficial because we understand that it's not always obvious what Jump can and can't do with each integration, especially with the CRM. So, I again, a lot of questions about will this be recorded? Yes, it will be recorded. We'll send it out, and we don't expect you to understand and take this all in one go and understand it all. So we encourage you to go back and review this because really really awesome stuff. Thanks, Nathan. Okay, so I'm going to go over the Jump embedded integration in Redtail. So before I go into that, I want to explain why we did this. So the reason we built this is pretty simple. We understand you're in Redtail all day, and your contacts are there, your calendar's there, your client's history is there. But every time you need a Jump to capture a meeting, to run pre-meeting prep, to sync notes, you would then jump out of Redtail into Jump to do the work and come back. Um, that friction might be unwanted for some, might not be a big deal for others, but we think especially those that use Jump solely as a meeting assistant, which I'll dive into it more about like the new products we just released. But Jump at its core is a note taker. That's what the Meet product is all about. Is how can we help you take your notes, prepare for your meetings, and then sync those notes to your system of record. So for those advisors specifically, this integration is going to be very helpful because it eliminates one of the open tabs you have on your screen every day. For this specific integration, the embedded integration with Jump lives inside of Redtail. So I'm going to go to Redtail. I'm going to go over to manage your integrations. I'm going to scroll down until I find the Jump logo here. I'm going to click Settings, Authorize Access. So what this is saying, this is basically Jump or Redtail asking Jump for certain permissions. So asking, can we access your meetings? Can we access your Jump account, etc. Once you authorize, you'll notice this tab right here, AI Note Taker. So that was not there before. Once I connect, that is now there. So let me go ahead and click AI Note Taker. And you'll see that if I go back to my Jump account, I'll go back to AI Processed. You'll see it's the exact same. It is what we call an iframe, but it's an embedded experience. So everything that I interact with inside of here is like as if I were in Jump interacting with the platform. So what's available today? Not everything you see in Jump today will be available in this integration. So there are things like insights, settings, etc., that we did not bring over in this first iteration. It's basically everything that has to do with the meeting. So pre-meeting prep, the actual notes, post-meeting, automation, etc. So I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see here, upcoming, I can see my through the integration with Jump to my calendar, I can see the upcoming events, the upcoming Jump events. I can see past meetings that have been processed. I can then click into, oh, one more thing I'll point out. It's a little hidden, but this is an important button. This is how you capture the meeting inside of Redtail. So whether that's an in-person meeting using the microphone of your computer, whether it's updating or uploading a meeting audio directly, sending a note taker to a meeting, join my call, all of this will be directly inside of this little button here. So we encourage you to get familiar with that. Okay, let's go here to an actual meeting. So this is what we call the meetings details page. But this is a meeting that happened between Rachel Ball and Ty and Kendall Harris. So you can see here, here's the note. It looks just like it does in Jump. You can see the different, if I had ran pre-meeting prep for this, you would see that. You could see, ask anything, analytics, and then most importantly, the automations. So being able to, and well, just as a refresher, automations to us means what do you want to do after the meeting? So meetings happened, great. What's next? What's the next best action here? And that's where you can have actions like syncing to a financial planning tool like Right Capital or eMoney, syncing the note actually to the internal contact in Redtail, the recap email, all of this possible inside of Redtail itself. Okay, let's dive deeper. Let me show you just this flow real quick. Let me click here, add note to contact, and I'm going to sync this to the Kendall Harris contact here. Great. Let's choose just one of these custom categories and sync that over. Awesome. Now, view in Redtail. Again, this is basically Jump, so it's saying view in Redtail, and I can come and jump here and see exactly this note that is tied to Kendall. With this, okay, awesome. Same things with tasks. So like Nathan walked through with tasks, all of that same functionality is possible here with this integration. So let me just sync over one task here. I'm going to sync over the prepare retirement projections to Kendall. And I'll keep this workflow here and sync that over. And great. All right. So that was able to sync over successfully to the Redtail contact. Let me just go over to the Redtail contact real quick. All right. So we are very excited about this integration. Again, just as a refresher, this is the tab you have to go to. And it's like you're interacting with Jump, but inside of Redtail. And it is primarily just the meetings specific functionality. All right. One thing I'll call out though, what's coming next? We're really excited about the potential here, specifically because we understand how important a CRM is to your business, to your firm, and the power that Jump and really the AI operating system can bring to your firm inside of the CRM. So what's next? We have big plans. You can see here a little sneak peek. We did just release a brand new tool called AI Associate. So not only can it read from all your integrations, but it can also write to your integrations, write to your different systems directly from a chatbot. So if I go back here, I'll show you what this looks like here. So similar experience, AI Associate, but bringing that to Redtail. So that is something that is coming up next, as well as on the contact level. Redtail does a great job of contacts and the details you can store on a client record. Jump also has unique insights as well, such as signals or past meetings or being able to run pre-meeting prep on the specific contact. That's something we're looking into next as well is how can we bring that power of a Jump contact, which is linked to a Redtail contact, and run those same signals and pre-meeting prep from directly inside of Redtail. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I will hand it back to you, Nathan. I know we've had a lot of questions and I think it's probably good that we save time for questions. I've seen a few that I want to touch on, but yeah, I'll stop sharing my screen and pass it back to you.
Yeah, thank you. I actually would love to hear I would actually love to hear you respond to a lot of these questions. I think some of the ones that you had noted here in our internal board I think would be good to highlight. So I did notice a lot of people ask, wait, how do I set this up again? So I shared the instructions one more time in the chat. I'll also throw the help doc in the chat here in a moment. I do also see some people are running into some errors, so we'll make sure and look into that, and I'll try and send a message here once I figure out the fix there. But yeah, Ty, if you wouldn't mind. Uh,
Awesome. Yeah, one thing that's really important that I need to call out that I forgot is um, this only works for the new your URL for Redtail. So they have a legacy URL, like CRM URL. If you go through that, it's not going to work. It's going to give you like an incorrect redirect URI, some like code language. So I encourage you to go to like the crm.redtail URL and then go through that. So if you're running to an error, that's probably the first thing I'd recommend. And we can send more information about that after. Okay, let me go through some of these questions because there's a lot of really good ones. Um, is the embedded integration available for blank advisors? So whatever home office you are a part of. The answer should be yes. So this integration is controlled by Redtail. So we actually don't limit who can connect because it is a Redtail integration. But to my understanding, you should all have access to this. And if you have issues, please reach out to us and we can help. We can help there. Okay. Another one I saw that was great is just Redtail in general. If you are paying for email archive, does Jump review those emails since they aren't located within the notes section? Really big uh, point of emphasis that we've thought into. We actually do not read emails that are not specifically tied to the note contact as an activity. So if you have email archiving within Redtail, we do not read those as part of pre-meeting prep. So we would then have to, the recommendation would then be to set up an integration directly with your email client um, to then pull in those emails for pre-meeting prep. I'll just keep going, Nathan. I'll keep going through it. Okay. Um, can I link tasks to the Jump Redtail meeting note? Okay, that's a great question. So to explain that, it's I sync a note over from Jump to Redtail. I now want to link my tasks to that specific note in Redtail. That is a great use case for our customization team. So Nathan brought up the little help bubble. I recommend you go there, reach out to Jump. We'll get it set up for you because yes, the possibilities are endless as far as where you want, well, not endless, but basically endless, a lot more than you think as far as where we can sync to and what we can do with your different objects and your use cases. So we can help you set that up for sure. Okay, another one I saw that I liked was um, we have multiple users on Redtail. Do they need to have a separate Jump subscription? Um, the answer there is yes, we recommend each user to have a Jump subscription. So one Jump subscription to one CRM. Um, and yeah, so, but yeah, that's all I'll say I recommend there. I have, okay, great question. I have some integration with Redtail. How do I determine if I have the newest features? So I would say almost every single new feature with Redtail, like the Redtail embedded, for example, you should have these by default. Um, there are a few cases where new features come out and they are behind approval from an home office to approve to be able to have those features. Most of the time, the Redtail improvements are not included in that because they're just simply improvements to the existing integration. So you should have access to this. There might be some edge cases, but for the most part, what you see is probably the most up to date in Redtail. We want to get you the best features and the most up to date as soon as we can. So, um, okay, can we assign tasks to multiple users? You can. Yes, Nathan, you want to answer that one? See you nod your head.
Yes, you sure can. Yeah, happy to show that again really quick for you guys. So this is actually, from what I under, if this is correct, I think Redtail is the only one we can do this with currently. But if you go to a task, so you go to a meeting page and you pretend like you're going to sync your tasks on over. You go over to this button here across from follow-up tasks, says sync to Redtail. And then you just click on the assign to here, and then it gives you this drop down, and then you can check multiple. Okay, just to reiterate, make sure you're checking if whoever you choose, they need to have the red tail symbol next to theirs. If they have the jump symbol, that means it's not actually that user in red tail. So thank you.
Awesome. Okay. One more that I saw that I liked a lot was is there a way to make notes sync to Redtail automatically without having to manually go into each jump note and linking to the client, then hitting sync? So, great question. At this point, the answer is no. We do not have automatic note syncing. Um, Obviously, it's technically possible, but the we haven't done that yet because we value very much the human in the loop aspect of AI and reviewing that first before syncing it to your system of record. So, something we've explored and something we might explore in the future, but at this point, no, that's not possible. Okay, once Nathan, you showed the intake form, and a lot of people were asking what is the intake Redtail today? Now, Grow and Operate, those are two brand new products. So, Grow, as it might sound, is the ability to help you grow your business. So, what that might be is like um, uh, Signals, which is like highlights key opportunities in your firm, being able to track performance for coaching on your meetings, um, be able to run queries on your past meetings to search for different insights. So, like tell me everyone that has brought up um, concern about the recent global conflicts, et cetera. So Operate is where AI intake forms comes in. So that's a separate product. And the intake forms, like Nathan was showing, was the ability to send a form out to a client, get answers, and then be able to sync those back to your different systems. And the cool part there is it also uses the meeting data, so you can have the form filled out during a meeting. Pretty exciting. But lots. I won't. We could spend hours there. I would encourage you to reach out to our grow or operate team to get a demo there and dive deeper if any of that sounds interesting to you. Okay.
Great.
Um, I'll do one more. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep going. Um,
Go.
I'm on a roll. I got to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry. One more. The grow and operate, just to follow up there, grow and operate are not available for everyone today. So it is additional costs, and you'd have to reach out to have those products added. Okay. Yeah, I'll hand it back to you, Diego. I think I touched on a lot of these. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ty, and thanks, Nathan, for walking us through the functionality here with the embedded integration between us and Redtail. Everyone, thank you so much for joining today. We really appreciate it. All the questions were great. We'll be doing follow-ups with the recording, as well as we'll be sharing documentation as needed for you all. If you're interested in connecting with our product team as well for grow and operate. We're happy to also loop them in for any questions that come up there as well, if there's interest. But if no other questions, thank you all so much and look forward to connecting you all soon. Thanks.